Greetings. The video was interrupted, stopped suddenly. I'm sorry about this technical difficulty. All right, we were discussing Deuteronomy chapter 28. It says, if you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully follow all his commands I give you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations on earth. And we explained in the last video, they were under all the nations on earth, starting with Egypt in slavery for 400 to 430 years, then in the desert for 40 years, and then continuous wars and slaves under the Palestinians and the Midianites. We read this during our discussion. Slaves in the land for many years. Slaves, miserable life, not above the Palestinians. They were never above the Palestinians except for a very short period of time, from the time that Solomon took over as a king after the death of his father David, until the death of Solomon, 735 years before Jesus Christ. They were above the Palestinians and the Arabian Peninsula and Sheba and Babylon only. But here it says, above all the nations on earth, all the nations on earth. They were never in this state. So, how they're going to become above all the nations? If you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully follow all his commands I give you today. This is Moses, 1,000 years before Jesus Christ. So if they do, they will be put above all the nations on earth. Since the history tells us, and history doesn't speak lies, like the rotten Zionists, then, and they were miserable under all the nations in the world, then they did not do as Moses told them, to fully obey the Lord and carefully follow all his commands. It's obvious. But let's follow this one step at a time. So this is the promise. We are talking about the promise. If you do, you will be above all the nations. This is the first promise. You will be above all the nations on earth. But that didn't happen. All these blessings will come on you and accompany you if you obey the Lord your God. All those blessings. What blessings? Let's count. Let's count together. Verse 3 says, you will be blessed in the city and blessed in the country. Wherever you go. If you live in the city, you're blessed. If you go to the country, you're blessed. Now, the stupid, rotten Zionists, they take this and they will say, you will be blessed in the city and blessed in the country. As if this is always, with no condition attached. Those rotten Zionists, they are so miserable. No, it is not like this, out of context. You have to put it back where it belongs. This Deuteronomy chapter 28 started with saying, if you obey the Lord and carefully follow his commands, then this verse applies. Verse number 3, Deuteronomy 28. But it doesn't apply if that first part doesn't apply. If they do not follow, obey carefully, then this doesn't apply. So stop, rotten Zionists, taking things out of context. And history tells us that they never had this. Blessed in the country, blessed in the city, blessed everywhere. This is not the case. You are lying. But looking at this in the book within context, it doesn't say they were blessed. This blessing comes with the condition that they did not fulfill, did not listen. Moses said, if you do, then those are the blessings you're going to have from the Lord. Number one, you'll be blessed everywhere. In the country, in the city, everywhere. Number two, Verse 4 it says, the fruit of your womb will be blessed, and the crops of your land, and the young of your livestock, and the calves of your herds, and the lambs of your flocks. Everything will be blessed. Everything you touch will be blessed. But the stupid, rotten Zionists need to understand this was not their case. This didn't happen. This was a promise if they follow and obey. But they did not follow or obey, then this never happened. But the rotten Zionists, they preach this as if this is what happened always. It never happened. Those rotten Zionists need to stop lying. Verse number 5 says, another blessing, your basket and your kneading through will be blessed. Everything you do, all your handiwork, what you do, your craft, anything you do will be blessed. You will be blessed when you come in and blessed when you go out. Blessed anyway you're coming or going, you'll be blessed. But this is not like what the rotten Zionists repeat, taking this out of context. Before all this, we had a condition, a severe condition, strict, serious. You obey, you will be blessed. You don't obey, nothing of this. Verse number 7, the Lord will grant that the enemies who rise up against you will be defeated before you. They will come at you from one direction, but flee from you in 7. Okay? So history against this, and tells us, a different story, that the enemies will come from one end and the Israelis will fly from 7. It's exact opposite. Then they did not fulfill the condition at the beginning of Deuteronomy 28, before we reach verse 7. They did not fulfill. If they fulfilled, then this will happen. But since they are running from 7 different directions, then they did not fulfill the condition. And nothing without fulfilling that condition will apply. None of those blessings. I'm praying, one day, may those rotten Zionists understand this. Verse 8 says, the Lord will send a blessing on your barns and on everything you put your hand to. Everything you put your hand to will be blessed. On your barns, where you keep your horses and your chicken. The Lord your God will bless you in the land He is giving you. He will bless you in the land He is giving you. And this never happened. So back to the condition at the beginning of Deuteronomy 28, before verse 8. That condition that they didn't do and fulfill. Verse 9, the Lord will establish you as His holy people. You'll become His holy people. So today, the stupid, rotten Zionists, they say, Israel is the holy people of God. Shut up. That's a lie. He said He will do this if they fulfill the condition at the beginning of Deuteronomy 28. If they obey carefully, then they will be the holy people of the Lord. But they did not obey, and they are not the holy people of God. That's a big lie. Stupid, rotten Zionist. Repeat every day. As He promised you on oath, if you keep the commands of the Lord your God and walk in obedience to Him, then all the people on earth will see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they will fear you. The Lord will grant you abundant prosperity in the fruits of your womb, the young of your livestock, and the crops of your ground in the land He swore to your ancestors to give you. So repeating the same. We read all this. So this is just repetitious. All right, we'll continue next time with the good part of the promise under the condition that the stupid Zionists cannot see. They have to obey first, carefully, all the commands of the Lord. Otherwise, none of this. None of this. All right, take care.